today. We've got the best racing coast to coast. Don't miss our live coverage from Gulfstream's championship meet, where top contenders are making their mark. Join us trackside at Santa Anita, the great race place.
Welcome back to our set.
Showcasing world-class speed and skill. And we're on track live from Fairgrounds for the Grade 3 LeCompte, where futures are forged on the road to the Derby. Only on FanDuel TV.
Happy Saturday to you all. Welcome into our FanDuel TV studios. I'm Dave Weaver. A special shout out to those watching on our FanDuel Racing social platforms. Welcome. We're going to take you through about a 15-minute run-up to what to expect today here on FanDuel TV. We've actually got people stationed across the country. Sandington Park will be hosting the Cal Cup today. We have a crew out at Fairgrounds. It's a huge day of racing there with the LeCompte, and then we'll head down to South Florida. Stakes racing from Gulfstream Park. We will be keeping an eye on the weather today because it's supposed to be rainy at Gulfstream and it's supposed to be rainy at the Fairgrounds as well. We'll talk more about that in a bit. To join me to talk about these racing is Joaquin Jaime. So big day out at the Fairgrounds. The LeCompte is one of 6 stakes races today.
And an update on the weather conditions at the Fairgrounds. Some scratches and changes just trickled in. We are sloppy and off the turf at the Fairgrounds today, but you're going to have to monitor the scratches and changes because only some races are off the turf. Here's the stake slate that we have at the Fairgrounds today. The Duncan Kenners race number 6, the Marie Cranston Memorial is race number 8, and the Colonel E.R. Bradley Stakes is race number 10. Races 6, 8, and 10. Those are the turf races. As far as stakes races go, we're going to have to monitor the weather situation out there in New Orleans. We have the Silver Bullet Day Stakes, named after a Kentucky Oaks winner. That race offers qualifying points towards the Kentucky Oaks on the first Friday in May. We have older horses, Dave, in the Grade 3 Louisiana Stakes. That's race number 11. But the big one today, as we continue on our Spendthrift Road to the Kentucky Derby, is going to be the LeCompte Stakes. That's going to be the 12th and final. But of course, Dave, as we mentioned, we will have to monitor that weather situation out there at the Fairgrounds.
And one of the most internationally renowned riders over the last 30 years or so has a mount in the LeCompte. As a matter of fact, Frank Dettori has 6 rides today at the Fairgrounds. He's won so many races overseas, but most recently, he has put his focus on riding here in the United States. He has won at 19 different U.S. racetracks over the course of his career, but he has never won at the Fairgrounds. Today could be the day.
And as far as I could tell from the quick research I did, I don't know if he's ever ridden a race at the Fairgrounds, which makes sense. A lot of his career was spent overseas, and he's ridden at so many racetracks all across the world. But Frankie Dettori going into the Fairgrounds with quite a few live mounts that he has today out there in New Orleans.
Take a look at the field, Joaquin, for the LeCompte. This is a much bigger field than we saw last time out in the Gunrunner when it was just a field of 5 when Built won.
And that was when they were 2-year-olds because the Gunrunner was run at the tail end of December. So now we continue on the road to the Kentucky Derby as these are newly turned 3-year-olds in the LeCompte Stakes. And we'll take a look at what Built did on this afternoon. A few horses, as you mentioned, Dave, are coming out of the Gunrunner and back into the LeCompte. It was a small field in the Gunrunner. It was a field of 5. If you want to have a knock on Built, it's that he defeated only 4 other rivals. He set the pace at 24-3, 49-1. He got everything his own way, but he's a very good horse. Look at the way that he finished this race off right there, winning by nearly 7 lengths. He put up a career best 92 Beyer speed figure. Yes, you can look at the analysis and say he got everything his own way on the front end. I think Built is just a really good horse who's clearly improving right now.
Well, he is trained by a real character, Wayne Catalano, who grew up there in New Orleans and is looking to get to the Kentucky Derby with this sensational 3-year-old Built. Here's more.
We'll get these guys started with a little appetizer. Stuffed artichoke. This is a way different kind of roast beef sandwiches, okay? Look at this bread. Oh my goodness. We'll take the middle out. That's what I do. Now we're gonna take your roast beef and we're gonna put it on your sandwich. Look at this. Son, that's baked macaroni. Here you go.
The man is a chef, fresh from the Cat Kitchen.
My sister Gina, she said, if you don't make it as a trainer, you'll be able to open up a kitchen and cook. I said, it's a little late for that, honey. I already made it. We're ready to rumble. We're not messing around. When you're this long in the game, 53 years, I started here like when I was 15, and now I'm telling my age. So it's a long time. Didn't have much money. Grew up kind of poor. Running around New Orleans, you know, trying to stay out of school the most I could. I always tell everybody I went to Vandenberg University. Learned every step of the way with him, and you know, when you're riding horses, and once I became a jockey, we had a lot of riding titles and broke a lot of records, and I wasn't riding, you know, big horses and everything, so Vandenberg gave me some horses so I can kind of learn how to do this. Bring her straight out, okay, Mike, with the blinkers on. This game is very tough. We went from 100 horses to 1 horse. So we had a few up and downs, but when you get a horse like Built, kind of keeps you going. Should be coming. I have not won the Kentucky Derby, but I ran in the Kentucky Derby. I ran a good race. I thought I was 4th. They put my number up 5th, and they didn't pay the 5th that year. I'm like, come on. Yeah. They started paying the next year. I'm gonna check on my big boy. Everybody's here for one reason, and that's to get the big horse in the barn. If you got the doors open, you got a chance. There's Mr. Built. You see the camera? Huh? I tell everybody, yeah, you got a good horse, but they got to run against other good horses. Right now, he's telling me we're really good, real good. Is he good enough? We're going to find that out. Maybe we can win a Derby together.
Well, they're on their way because they have 10 points from the gun runner, looking to get another 20 with the win today in the LeCompte. But he's right. You have to face good horses when you run in these races. Last time out, they had to face 4 horses. Today, they have to beat 13 horses.
And with a wide draw that he has out there, that he's going to have to overcome as well. But just a quick follow-up on Wayne Catalano. He's been such a terrific trainer for so many years. Won 3,000 races not too long ago. 4 of those victories are actually in the Breeders' Cup. He won his very first Breeders' Cup in 2006 with Dreaming of Anna. The most recent Breeders' Cup win for Wayne Catalano came out here in Southern California at Del Mar, in the Breeders' Cup Sprint with Aloha West.
Oh, yeah.
4 Eclipse Thoroughbred partners, the same silks that Built will be wearing today.
By a nose over Dr. Schivel.
Right.
So, okay, good luck to Wayne. He has the morning line favorite Built in the LeCompte, but there are also Oaks points on the line in the Silver Bullet Day. That'll go as race number 9. Same thing, 20 points to the winner today for the fillies.
And there's a field of 8 that has been entered in the Silver Bullet Day Stakes. 1 mile and 70 yards will be the distance. So as at least of right now, the main track is listed as sloppy. I mean, the post time, scheduled post time, Dave, is 4 o'clock Central Time. We'll have to take a look at the weather forecast and see if that maybe will be upgraded to good by the time we get to post time, if there's still more rain in the forecast. And if so, will these 3-year-old fillies and colts in the LeCompte Stakes be running over a sloppy racetrack?
Yeah, and we'll see if maybe some of them defect from the field if the track is not the way that their trainers want it to. But let's take a look at some of the contenders in this race. And we'll go to Golden Gamble, second in the Untappable, losing to a horse named Her Laugh, who did not come back and re-enter here today. So she doesn't have to deal with her. And she's got a pretty nice late kick. But the race really just didn't set up for her this day. They went 49 seconds to the half, and she was second to last. You can't win from there.
Which is strange because she was actually closer to the pace 2 starts back in her maiden-breaking victory at Churchill Downs with faster fractions. She ended up further back with slower fractions in the Untappable that we're taking a look at. And considering that Her Laugh got the jump on her pretty good going into the far turn, this is a very good effort for her stakes debut for Golden Gamble, looking for her very first stakes victory for trainer Ken McPeak.
She was even money in the Untappable. She certainly could go favored here today. The morning line favorite.
No reason she can't build upon that effort that we just showed right there.
It's a really good race.
Right, yeah.
With that type of a trip and with that slow of a pace, it just really wasn't going to set up for a winning effort. But how about the 3 Simply Joking, who breaks her maiden first time out in a stakes race? That is pretty rare.
Going 6 furlongs, was in against Stakes Company, a field of 6, and was able to grind out the victory down the stretch by a neck that day. She's 3-1 on the morning line, stretching out in distance with Jaime Torres today for Whit Beckman, and also facing Stakes Company for the first time as well.
All right, so those are the 2 big races, 6 of them in all at the fairgrounds today. But there are 5 stakes races at Santa Anita, all for the Cowbreds. It is Cow Cup Day, the California Chrome Cow Cup Derby, probably the biggest race, perhaps. I don't remember that last year being called the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby.
But
he won the race back in his day.
Yeah, and that really put California Chrome on the map, saying, okay, maybe this is not your ordinary Calbred here. Maybe this is a horse that can jump up into graded stakes competition. And boy, did he ever, winning the first 2 jewels of the Triple Crown back in 2014.
It is really a big day here in California for the fans and for the owners and breeders as well.
The Great Race Place. This storied racetrack has had many greats run on its hallowed ground.
It's John Henry getting to the front by 1 length. Sebastian wins it, a new world champion. This is unbelievable!
But today is about those who were bred a little closer to home. It's Cal Cup Day, a day for California breds to compete amongst themselves in 5 stakes races, highlighted by the Cal Cup Derby. This is a day that supports California's breeding industry and all those who are involved.
It's a chance to expose the breeding program in the state of California, and it's a great event for horsemen of smaller stables to get an opportunity to run for a lot of money.
It's a big push for the California breeding program. These owners make it a point to breed their horses in California and get rewarded for it.
You can scroll up and down the races today, and it literally is a who's who of California breeders. Let's just start with the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. Nick Alexander, Terry Lovinger, Kirk and Jody Robinson, Paul Redham, Terry Lovinger, Highclere Incorporated, William Gray, and Richard Barton Enterprises. I mean, these are just fixtures of California breeding.
And one of the first names that you mentioned, Nick Alexander, he's going to have Shea Brennan, the King Gloria Stakes winner, in the Cal Cup Derby coming up later today. Here is Cal Cup Day. Here is the slate, Dave. And for those that weren't familiar what happened last week as far as the stakes races, if you've been following national news, you know what was happened here in Southern California with the tragic wildfires that we had. But the Cal Cup Day was supposed to be run last Saturday. They canceled racing last week, so Cal Cup Day postponed exactly 7 days until today. And they did redraw all of these races for these California breds here this afternoon.
Really good field sizes. And let's talk about the 3-year-olds going in the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. 1 16th is the distance. I don't think there are many horses that have ever been this far. Most of them have been maximum 1 mile.
And this is a rematch of the King Gloria Stakes. You have a field of 8. 5 of the 8 horses, your top 5 finishers from the King Gloria Stakes, are all coming back in the Cal Cup Derby. I guess it's what you would expect with this division, the 3-year-olds on the main track. And Shea Brennan was only a nose best that afternoon in the King Glorious in his first attempt going 2 turns.
Here's trainer Phil D'Amato's thoughts on Shea Brennan.
You know, he's a horse. I think he's just getting better and better. I think definitely 2 turns helped him out. But also that win, I think, has given him a lot of confidence. But coming into the race, turning very well.
There is a new shooter in here, though, that wasn't in the King Glorious. That's Style Cat. I think Style Cat might be faster than all of these horses and could take him wire to wire. That's going to be my pick later today.
And you get Juan Hernandez aboard Style Cat, and they're 5-1 for trainer Peter Miller on the stretch out and distance.
Jump into the WynnBET insurance that we have for you today on your FanDuel racing accounts, not just at Santa Anita, but at Aqueduct, race 8, Gulfstream, race 6, Fairgrounds, races 11 and 12, Santa Anita, races 9 and 11. We'll play a little yay or nay a little bit later on. For those watching on our social media channels, you can tune over to FanDuel TV to catch that, because we're going to say goodbye for the day. I believe you can catch us later on from the Fairgrounds. We're going to do another social show, but we'll see you next Saturday regardless. Everybody else, stick around. Joaquin and I with